One of my favorite treats late in the summer is corn on the cob. It's just delicious. You have it with butter, and I like to throw it on the grill. And I use a technique that's pretty old-fashioned, but I think it really is the most delicious way to make corn on the cob. So let's fix it. Hello, my name is Chris and welcome to Chef Fix It. So when I make corn on the cob, I like to throw it on the grill. And I like to grill it in the husks, which is an old-fashioned technique. Basically, you soak the corn in water for a couple hours, and then you throw it on the grill, and the wet husks on the outside protect the inside of the corn and also provide a nice earthy, a little bit smoky flavor. So that's what we're gonna do today. So really all we need is corn on the cob and softened butter. So you can see I have some nice corn on the cob I picked up the other day at the market.
You're not going through the corn, are you? Can't go no other way.
It looks really good on the inside. I checked out a couple. It's very yellowish, looks very ripe, and it'll be sweet. So to get things ready, all I need to do is remove the tassels and then any husks that are sticking out. I just pop those off too because those will burn off right away. And then everything else just gets thrown into a cooler full of water and it soaks for a couple hours and is ready for the grill. So let's take these tassels off. Those of you wondering, I didn't just throw the tassels on the floor. I do have a trash bin under there. So basically you're just removing what's exposed. You don't want to peel away the husk too much because that'll make it more likely to expose the corn and maybe char and burn it more than you want to. A little char is nice, but you definitely don't want to make it too black. So I realized char is a very important and personal preference. And of course, if you want more char on your corn, you can remove the few outer layers of husks here and just leave a few inner layers on. And that will give you more direct heat and more char. Just be careful not to overdo it so you don't burn it. Then you can see I'm kind of closing it up afterwards to protect the corn. Yeah, you definitely want to close those husks up afterwards to protect the corn. And also when you're picking out corn at the store, you want to peel back the husk just a little bit and take a look. You want to make sure the kernels are nice yellow color. If they're very bland, almost white, unless it's white corn, you know it's not going to be very tasty. All right, the corn's all cleaned up. Now it's ready to go in the cooler. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Do we really need to watch this filling up a cooler with water? Well, I'm putting the corn in as well, and yes, in an effort to be thorough, I am showing this. And all I'm showing is that as you put the corn in, you'll notice that sometimes it doesn't sit evenly, and you may have to redistribute the corn a little bit as you're doing it. You want to make sure you get the corn as submerged as possible so it gets nice and wet for the grill.
2 hours later.
All right, so now out to the grill, and I want to mention it's well over 100 degrees outside, so it's toasty right near the grill. And I'm getting my corn all lined up, evenly spaced, after it's been soaking for a couple hours in the cooler, and everything looks really good. Then I realized, oh wait, the part away from me is the hot part of the grill, so I'm rotating the corn around, so the bigger part will be more towards the heat, and then it should cook more evenly that way. So that setup looks really good, and what I do is just close the lid of the grill for about 10 minutes, and then I'll lift it up, slowly rotate the corn just a little bit, close it again, and then repeat. Alright, so time to rotate the corn. You can see I rotated a little less than a quarter turn. That's looking really good, so we'll close the lid for about 10 minutes. Lid's opened up again, ready to rotate. And notice that the picture is getting more out of focus, and I've learned that has to do with the heat. So what happened is the lens got really warm, and so it got more and more out of focus each time. And here I'm rotating the corn again. There's not much to see, fortunately, except rotating the corn. I did eventually discover the focusing issue, and so I readjusted. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that detail. Okay, now we have some nice detailed video, and we'll finish the grilling part in style. I think that deserves a like. This corn is just about done, just a couple more rotations and it should be ready. So here I've busted out the fork, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to get in there a little bit, and then I poke one of the kernels. So if the corn is done, you should see some juice squirting out of the kernels. And if you don't see any juice, that most likely means that the corn isn't done yet. So I continue to test them one at a time. You can see, oh, that one looks really nice right there. Nice bright yellow. Yep, that one's done too. Then this guy here looks pretty charred on the outside. I'm just digging in. Give it a little poke. Yep, that one's done. Now this one I'm not so sure because it's not as charred. Maybe it was cooler on that side of the grill. So that one's not done yet. We're just going to give it a little more time. So after grilling for over an hour in the Arizona heat, the corn is done and it looks just beautiful. I'm very happy with it. So the next thing is to remove all the husks, and it's a big mess because it's all charred and whatnot. What I like to do is take a kitchen trash bag and cut it open and use it like a little tarp. And then I can just use that to catch all the remnants and the little charcoal bits, and it won't get all over the place. So let's go ahead and do that. So I had a harder time cutting this garbage bag than I thought I would. Kirkland brand, very durable. So notice as I peel back the charred outer layers that the inner layers are protected. And that's what soaking in the water does. It protects the inside of the corn. Still pretty warm. You gotta be careful not to burn your hands when you do this. Yeah, there's a lot of heat stored in those corn cobs. You need to be careful for quite a while. Look at how beautiful that corn looks though. Nice bright yellow color. Delicious. So it was at about this point I realized I needed a plate to put the corn on as I'm taking off the husks. So I went and grabbed it and then back to work. Oh yeah, that one's toasty right there. Whew. So of course it's not just about removing the husks. There are also little tassels that are still stuck to the corn cob. So you have to peel those off, make sure you get everything so it's nice to eat. So it's that initial rush of heat. So what I'm going to do is just open them all and let them sit for a few seconds and cool off so I can handle them better. Good call, chef. Definitely don't want to burn your hands. But you don't want the corn to cool off all the way because you want to be able to melt a lot of butter on there. And we all know the true purpose of corn on the cob is a vehicle for butter. So how do you eat your corn on the cob? Do you eat it typewriter style like Tom Hanks? Let me know in the comments. The corn's ready. Watch this nice easy cleanup. All right, now let's give it a try. Lots of butter. If you can't see the butter, you haven't put enough on yet. Yeah, that's really good. Buttery, sweet, and you can taste the subtle flavor of the husks. It's not overpowering, but it adds a nice earthy taste to the corn that you really can't get any other way. So I hope you try making this at home. Share with your friends and your loved ones, and thanks for watching.